Hello and welcome to another episode of Toya Talks Wrestling. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about Raw, May 5th, 2025, Cinco de Mayo. This Raw was actually pretty good. The fucking main event was awesome, and I can't wait to talk about all of it. But I'm not going to talk about all of it, but we'll do some of it. Talk about some of the ladies' stuff. So we had Io Sky versus Roxanne Perez. This was for a non-titled match. It was a very good match. A lot of close calls, a lot of reversals and everything else. Io ends up winning by doing a reversal on Roxanne for they kept doing reverse pins. Io got the best of it and Io won. And then Roxanne Perez, she goes and she hands out her hand for a handshake and she shakes Io's hand, and I'm just thinking to myself, alright, what's the catch? What is the catch here? I was telling Io, I'm like, Io, don't shake her hand. She's the enemy. What are you doing? Right? Io shook her hand, did the bow of respect or whatever, Japanese and everything else. And then Julia from NXT jumps Io Sky as Roxanne was leaving the ring. Roxanne had a look on her face, and I'm like, see, I told you need to be careful. And they jumped her and they pretty much just beat the crap out of her and everything else like that. But all of this because now we have an actual tag team match like I said they were going to get. Now I thought maybe they could have put this on Backlash because I think so far they have 6 matches so far. I think I don't have to go check it out. But anyways, next Monday they'll have a match between Io and Rhea versus Julia and Roxanne. Should be good. Should be a great match. Hopefully this match would probably be the main event for Monday Night Raw next week. Depending on what else they have on there, but yeah. And then what else did we have for the ladies? Oh yeah, we had Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch comes out and she's getting booed, and Becky Lynch is like, why are you guys booing me, right? Are you booing me because I took out the trash? You don't boo people when you take out the trash. You don't do that when you take out the trash. And by trash, she was referring to Bayley. She said, I took out the trash. She said, when I walked out of WrestleMania, everybody was cheering for me. Even a lady was crying because she was happy. She was crying tears of joy to see me and everything else like that. And you guys boo me because I took out the trash? She's trash. She's no good. What are you getting mad for? It's like, you should be thanking me for taking out the trash. I also took out the recycling. Recycling being Lyra. Lyra's Lyra's not as offensive as Bayley, but she needs to be taken out as well. That Lyra tries to be like her, tries to emulate her and everything else. I said, if it wasn't for Becky, Lyra would be nowhere. So then obviously Lyra comes out and Lyra says, did you just call me recycling? Right? So Becky was like, she just disrespects me. She disrespects me. And then she comes out at the end. It's like, Becky's like, see, there you go, more disrespect. She's interrupted my fucking promo or some shit like that. And then that's when Lyra was like, did you just call me recycling? And Becky's like, sure did. Yeah, what you gonna do about it? And she's like, are you serious? Like, you're the one who's a recycler. Like, you're the one who's been cycling the same gimmick for the last so many years. And I was like, no lies detected, Lyra. No lies detected. True. Because again, she came back out with the man gimmick and the same man gimmick and the same music. I'm telling you, Becky, you need to change your gimmick and you need to change your music. Not Def Rebel though, because oh my gosh, they're so terrible. Not all their songs are terrible, but my goodness, some of them are just wow. Anyways, I digress. Basically, she's like, Lyra was like, I'm tired of you telling people that my success is because of you, has nothing to do with my success and everything else like that. She's like, I have defended this title more times than you've been at work this year. Becky Lynch is talking about, and Lyra's like saying, when you were gone on your holidays, people were getting better. I got better, showing off her Intercontinental Championship title to her. And Becky was like, well, I give you that. Everyone got better. Only because I wasn't here to be compared. But of course it got better. You ain't got no one to compare yourself to. You can't compare yourself to the great if the great ain't here. You know? And she's like, she'll start naming all her accomplishments. And she's like, oh, okay. Lyra's like, oh, okay. Sure. Great. Wonderful. Let's just name all of Becky Lynch's accomplishments. Oh, she was the first SmackDown Women's Title champion. She was main event WrestleMania and she won. Oh, she was the first Intercontinental. Oh, wait, no, that was me. Right? And she rubs it in Becky's face. And they basically went back and forth, and Lyra's like, look, you're gonna have to face facts that since you're back, you're gonna be number 2. You're always gonna be in second place over me, because I am the first Intercontinental Women's Champion. And Becky Lynch's like, you know what I think? And she attacks fucking Lyra, and they start fighting and everything else. They were fighting in the ring, and they fight outside the ring, and here comes the security to separate them. And Becky Lynch is, Lyra Valkyria was being pulled away up the ramp. So Becky Lynch was gonna say something. She goes into the ring, and she's about to say something to Lyra, and then Lyra gets away from security because security in WWE fucking sucks. And then she goes and they beat her up. They beat each other up more, and Becky Lynch was about to do the manhandle slam, and Lyra Valkyria reversed it into the Nightwing and pretty much held the title up high. And so we'll see what happens there. There's one thing that I will say about this whole situation is that we are getting a fiery up Lyra Valkyria. She's getting a lot better. I don't know, Becky's pulling out of something out of her that we all have been waiting for. It's not all the way out yet. She's breaking out of her shell. I don't know what's going to happen on the Saturday at Backlash. Me and Tim will talk about that on Thursday. I don't know. Something's coming out of her. She's becoming more like open and just doing more better promos, and if this keeps coming up everything else, I think she's going to be fantastic. Like, she is a great wrestler. She just needs to come out of her shell and be more like just robust. You know what I mean? But yeah, this was actually pretty great. This was actually better. She did actually better this time than last time. I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen on Saturday. Moving on. Rusev made his debut wrestling match. He fought Otis from Alpha Academy. Obviously, he beats Otis. I bet a pretty good one-on-one fight. It was actually pretty decent, but you know, he's the that's his first match back since 5 years in WWE, so obviously he won. And then Tozawa comes into the ring and he goes up to Rusev and basically challenges him, saying, let's fight right now. He rips off his shirt. Let's go right now. Let's fight right now. Now, if you've seen Tozawa and you've seen Rusev, you know, oh, okay, this ain't gonna be a fair fight. Rusev was like, you know what, I ain't got time for this, right? He just walks away, gets out the ring and walks away. Tozawa goes and checks on Otis. And as he goes and checks on Otis, here comes Rusev. He comes back and he pretty much just mauls Tozawa. And then Otis tries to fight and he just mauls Otis outside of the ring and everything else. It was crazy. It was crazy. I don't know what they're going to do. It's Rusev. Not really sure. But I guess this is a good warm-up to wherever he needs to be going. Obviously, he's playing a heel character in this situation. So I don't know. I mean, I could probably see maybe later on down the line if Penta is somehow champion, that maybe go after the IC title with Penta. Maybe, I don't know. We shall see. Well, speaking of Penta, let's talk about Penta. Penta had a match with JD McDonagh. This was actually a pretty decent match. Obviously, Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Carlito were constantly interfering in the match and everything else like that, to the point that finally the ref saw, I think, Finn Balor tried to do something to Penta or something like that, when that happened, both Carlito and Finn both got ejected out of ringside, right? So as this was happening, Chad Gable was cause Penta went up on top rope. Chad Gable comes in and tries to like stop Penta. Penta pretty much kicks him off the apron, and then he tries to go and attack JD, but JD like gets out the way, and then when he starts to do a thing, he basically like kind of like suicide dives into Chad Gable, and then goes back to the ring. Maggie McDonough does the jawbreaker to the neck to the head thing to him and stuff like that, and it was about to Penta's laid out. JD was about to do the moonsault on Penta, but Penta moves out the way, does the Mexican Destroyer, and then wins with the 1-2-3 pin. So I don't know what this means. Obviously, Penta and Chad Gable have some issues. Now I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen, because honestly, I thought El Grande Americano would have been interrupted the match, but apparently that's not the case. So not really sure what's going to happen. I wouldn't mind seeing something like Penta versus Chad Gable part 2, because Penta's first match was with Chad Gable, so I wouldn't mind them going back and doing another match with each other. But I also would like to see Penta and Rey Fenix teaming up and going against El Grande and Chad Gable, because obviously Chad Gable is not El Grande, and El Grande is not Chad Gable, obviously. So backstage, we had the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day was talking. The JD was like, "Yo, what happened?" and everything else. We got ejected to Finn and Carlito. We were ejected and everything else like that. But he was asking like, why was Chad Gable out there? Like, what's up with that? And JD McDonough goes, "Look, Chad Gable and Penta can both get it, right?" Now, earlier, before this happened, they had made the announcement that Penta will be going against Dominic Mysterio for his IC title at Backlash. Dominic Mysterio was like, "Don't worry about it. I can handle Penta at Saturday night's on Backlash," right? And as they're talking, AJ Styles walks into the Judgment Clubhouse, and they're like, "What are you doing here, old man?" and everything like that. And he's like, "Ha, old man," very funny. He's like, "Look, I'm gonna tell you what. The reason why I'm here to let you know that whoever wins at Backlash, I'm coming for the IC title." And Dom is like, "Yeah, whatever, blah 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 blah. I'm just letting you know, coming for that title, right?" And Dominic Mysterio's like, "Man, I got Penta to worry about. Now I got AJ to worry about." He goes and talks to Finn. He's like, you dealt with AJ Styles before. You think you can help me out and deal with him again?" And then Finn Balor's like, "What? You want me to solve your problems?" What? He's like, "What? You want me to solve your problems? You want me to fix your mess that you went into?" And Dom looks like kind of like, and he's like, "No, I'm just kidding, man. Of course I'll deal it with you. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking. Calm down, right?" So everyone's laughing and everything. That's pretty much ended the segment. So next week, AJ Styles will be fighting Finn Balor. Should be a great match. Another interesting, great match. I can't wait to see that. Let's talk about Chad Gable. So Chad Gable was backstage talking about the stupid luchadors and how he hates them and everything else like that, right? Then later, the New Day come out and basically was like, "Hey, look, we think that the the American Made to have an opportunity at the tag titles. Like, we beat freaking the War Raiders. I keep asking us. Now, I thought last week when they fought Finn and JD that they were going to get the tag opportunity for the tag titles, but apparently not. Whatever. Anyways, the New Day was like, "You should go and like get that fixed or something like that." It's like we want to give new tag teams, new opportunities, and I think that the American Made should be able to have that opportunity, right? And Chad gave us like, I like how you're thinking, and everything else like that, and all this other stuff. So then later on, you had Chad Gable with America's Made tag team, and then the War Raiders. So they were all arguing and everything else like that. So I think the New Day was there as well. So basically, next week we're gonna have American Made versus the War Raiders for the #1 contender spot for the tag title. I don't know how interested I'm in that one, but we shall see. So Adam Pearce was in the ring, and he told Pat McAfee and Gunther both come into the ring. So they both came into the ring. Basically, he said, look, tonight you can't touch each other. Saturday is everything goes or whatever. It's not no DQ match, but they can fight each other. He says, say what you need to say to each other, but be professional. Adam Pearce, and I think Gunther the mic first and everything else, or not handing a mic, but tells him he can go first. And Gunther says stuff, and Pat McAfee says something. This was a good promo. I will put, if I remember, I will put the promo down in the bottom. But yeah, this was a great promo. There was a lot that was said, but it was great. It really pumped me up for Backlash. I'm pretty sure we all know where this is going, but we'll see. We'll talk more about that on Thursday. So Grayson Waller. Last week I didn't talk about this, but last week Grayson Waller wanted a singles titles match, right? And Austin Theory's like, well, what's up with that? Like, why are you trying to get a single titles match and everything else like that? And he's like, no, nothing like that and everything else. Well, anyways, Adam Pearce gave him that match tonight, right? And Grayson Waller found out who that person was, and he's like, I can't fight that person. I'm not gonna fight this person, like everything else, right? As he's talking to Pearce, and Austin Theory comes up, and he's like, Grayson Waller was like, you know what, last week I was selfish. I was thinking about myself and everything else like that. I wanted to give you should take the singles match. You should fight this person. And Austin Theory's all excited about it. He's all for it. He's like, oh yeah, great. Yeah, that's fantastic. What's going on? Like, I'll fight him. Like, you really mean it? He's like, yeah. And Adam Pearce is like, are you serious? Like, are you serious? He's pulling him off on the other guy and everything else like that, because I'm trying to be a good friend here. I'm trying to be a good partner here, right? That's what Grayson Waller was saying. He's like, all right, well, it's official. You have a match. It's next, right? And Austin Theory's like, who's it against? And Waller's like, it's a surprise. So they're in the ring. You have Austin Theory. He's pumped. He's ready to go. Grayson Waller, he's just looking like, yeah, dude, you're about to get your ass kicked. Yeah, just setting you up, pretty much, right? And the music plays, and it turns out to be Sheamus. Now, we haven't seen Sheamus since Royal Rumble. That was like in February 1st, I believe. So we haven't seen him since then. So it was good to see Sheamus and everything else like that. As Sheamus music kept coming out, Grayson Waller slowly going out the ring. And Austin Theory is like, really, dude? Like, you really, seriously? Right? And if you don't know, if you watch Sheamus's Celtic workouts and everything else, they had a thing at WrestleMania where these two pretty much had like some altercations on the channel, which was pretty funny. So comes back full circle. So Sheamus obviously wins. He gives the super avalanche white noise off the second rope, and then hits him with the bro kick and everything else like that. Basically, and then they didn't show it because they were showing some advertisements, but Grayson Waller and Austin Theory kind of was arguing with each other in the ring and stuff like that. Only reason why we knew that because Michael Cole mentioned it. Now, I don't know what it is that they're doing with this tag team. Are they going to keep this tag team together? Are they going to separate them? I don't have no idea. I think that Austin Theory could probably benefit from being one of the members of what do you call it, of Rollins' group. I don't know what they're calling. I don't even know if they have a name yet, but I think he could benefit there, honestly, if they're going to separate them. Now I don't know if Theory and Waller are now on Raw, because I was like, what the fuck are they doing on Raw in the first place? I thought they were SmackDown guys, because I don't think they're gonna be doing like the draft, which is thank goodness, because it's so freaking boring, no one cares. And so I could see maybe they're probably on that show now. So if they do break up, I think Austin Theory could be a great member for that, and turn his character around for sure. But I don't know what's going on. We'll see. We shall see. So the last thing I want to discuss was Jey Uso, Paul Heyman, and Seth Rollins. So Jey Uso started the show. Everybody's Yeeting, having a good time, and all this other stuff. A lot of people are bitching and complaining about the Yeeting. I'm like, look guys, the Yeeting ain't gonna last forever, right? They'll lose the title and everything else. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Just go with the flow, right? People are like, I hate the yeeting. It takes too long. I'm like, who cares, man? I think somebody was complaining because they're like, they did the yeet and then they did the yeet again. I'm like, the audience asked for it. That's why they did it. Like, just chill the fuck out. Like, learn to have a good time. Not everything has to be serious. Everything has to be fucking your way. This ain't Burger King, okay? Anyways, let's talk about Jey. So Jey Uso, basically, he just calls out. He says, I'm here. I know Logan Paul's here. So come on out, Logan Paul. And a Paul came out. But it wasn't Logan Paul. It was Paul Heyman. And Paul Heyman comes out. And I was thinking, oh no. Oh no. I had like two thoughts in my head. And I didn't like neither one of them. But I digress. Paul Heyman comes out and he's telling, hey, I'm not here to disrespect the heavyweight champion Jey Uso and everything else. I just wanted to talk to him. He goes into the ring and everything else. He starts talking and Jey was like, you got a lot of nerves standing in the ring with me after what you did to my family, right? And, betraying him and everything like that. And he's like, oh, you're mad at me for betraying your family? like, Jey, you know what you did? You did the same thing. And Jay's like, what? And Jay's like, he didn't say anything. And he's like, look, CM Punk put me in a situation that I didn't need to be in because I had to make a decision because it was obvious if I picked CM Punk that there was no way that Roman would ever reconcile with anything that I've said or done and everything else like that. But Roman Reigns couldn't understand that I wanted to be next to my best friend at his moment where he finally gets to main event WrestleMania. Talked about how he was the one who made the tribal chief. He said, I took Roman Reigns top dog and made him the tribal chief. He told Jey that did Roman think that Paul Heyman was going to tell CM Punk the secrets of Roman Reigns and everything else like that? Why would he do that? He is the one who built the bloodline. He was the one who was with the bloodline for 5 years and everything else like that. He said that Roman Reigns lost everything when he lost the title to Cody Rhodes last year at WrestleMania 40. Instead of, just dealing with it, what'd he do? He run away and everything else and left me with Solo Sikoa for Solo, Jacob, and the Tongans to destroy my 40-year career in this business. Which I'm like, again, Paul, no lies detected. I had said before in previous videos that this was going to come to fruition, right? That this was going to be the reason why Paul turned his back on Roman, because Roman wasn't there. Roman wasn't there when Paul needed him, right? And then when Roman fucking wanted fucking Paul around, he only wanted Paul around because he needed help when he needed to get a 5th member for War Games last year. He didn't fucking know. He didn't fucking say anything to Paul Heyman and everything like that, because if you watch back on that program, Paul Heyman's phone number was changed and disconnected. But anyway, I digress. Says that when Roman Reigns did come back at SummerSlam, he didn't come back to, revenge his wise man, to protect his wise man and everything else like that. He did it to get his Ula Fala back from Solo. Again. Didn't give a fuck about the wise man. Right? I said this before. Fucking, did Roman Reigns actually get his comeuppance because he lost his fucking title? No. Because even when he lost his title, fucking Cody Rhodes helped him at Bad Blood. The fucking Usos and Sami Zayn helped him at fucking War Games. What lessons, what comeuppance did he actually get besides losing the fucking title? None. None whatsoever. So I actually fucking agree with everything that Paul says. Again, no lies detected. Right? And then Paul Heyman, he's getting like red in the face. He's getting upset. He is yelling. He's saying, I screwed your family. I didn't do this. Screw you, Jey Uso. Screw each and every one of you, Omaha, Nebraska, blah, 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 blah. He was yelling and screaming and everything else like that. Right? Taking deep breaths and everything. And Jey Uso's like, are you alright? Like, no, seriously, are you alright? Actually, I got a better question. What does this have to do with me? And I'm like, nothing, Jay. Other than that you're related to him. Other than that, you didn't really do anything. It's like, Jay's like, I got no part of this. What the fuck got to do with me? Like, I ain't not part of that business, And Paul Heyman was like, apologize. He's like, nothing. It has nothing to do with you. That was just me getting everything I need to say off my chest. And I will put the link in the bottom so you can go check out what he had actually said. But but this next part has everything to do with you and that heavyweight championship. Basically, he was saying Seth Rollins, he said that championship you have right there holds a lot of power. I think power that you, Jey Uso, don't even understand. You, Jey Uso, can't even handle. That right there has a lot of power. That needs to go to a powerful person. That needs to go to someone like Seth Rollins. Phase 1 was last week. Now we're on to stage 2, where Seth Rollins wants that title. Seth Rollins needs that title. He's like, Jey Uso, you can pick your place anytime, anywhere, name your place. But Seth Rollins is challenging you for the heavyweight title. And I was thinking, oh no. Like, oh no. Is that gonna like make... I'm like, look, in the back of my head, like, deep in my heart, I knew that Jay... I'm like, there's no way Jay is losing this title. But I wasn't exactly sure how he was gonna keep this title. But I was just like, oh my goodness gracious. Like, really, honestly thought that we were going to get something with Logan Paul and Jay. Like, I know Seth and Jay was going to happen eventually, but I thought it would be later on, right? But maybe they're planting a seed. Maybe I'm like, maybe they're just planting a seed here. Maybe I'm just like, okay. Anyways, so he's like, so then Jey Uso was like, oh, so anytime, any place. Because I'll tell you what, Us, how about tonight? So it wasn't exactly official yet, but Jay is like, tonight's alright. So then later on backstage, you had Paul Heyman, and he walks up to Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins, and he's smiling and everything else, and he's like, he fell for it. Jay fell for it. And everything else. You're right. He goes, and Seth Rollins is like, I love when I tell people I told you so. So if you don't mind indulging me for a moment. And Paul Heyman with a smile on his face, go ahead. And he's like, I told you so. And then he walks away. And then he talks to Braun Breaker. He did tell me so. He really did. And he's like, Braun Breaker's like, the heavyweight title, right? And he's like, do you know what this means? This means that once we get that title, we'll have the keys to the kingdom. Everything will be in our grasp and everything else like that. He's like, he talked about how Jey Uso is not going to be an easy win. After all, he did tap out Gunther and everything else like that. But Jey Uso is too focused on Logan Paul that he ain't ready for Seth Rollins. Now Seth Rollins is ready for Jey Uso. They started talking back and forth and everything else. So we had the match, which was the main event. This was fucking great match. I don't know, like Jey Uso and Seth Rollins, when Jey fights Seth, Jey just comes all guns a-blazing with fucking, like, he is probably Jey Uso, as he's been a singles competitor's best opponent, because Seth Rollins brings out something in Jey that nobody else brings out of fucking Jey. Nobody. Anyway, a lot of close calls and a lot of things have happened. Bron Breakker at one point got interfered because why not and everything. I honestly thought a couple of times that they were actually going to let Seth win or let Jey win or something like that. I didn't know because it was going back and forth. It was great, right? At one point, I think the ref was being distracted by Seth, and then Bron Breakker did something to Jey. I can't remember what he did. And then here comes Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn had his ribs taped up and everything else like that. And Sami pretty much attacks Bron Breakker. As he's attacking Bron Breakker, Seth Rollins is watching, and then he turns around to get hit by a super kick and like a great spear. And I thought, well, maybe this is it. They did the super kick, the spear, and the Uso splash. I'm like, this has to be it, right? But 1, 2, nope. Seth Rollins kicks out. This is when Paul Heyman goes up to the apron on the other side of the ring, and he's distracted, and the ref's distracted again. And Bron Breakker spears Sami Zayn, and then he spears Jey Uso, right? And he throws Jey Uso back into the match, and back into the ring. And I'm like, oh no, is they're actually gonna take his title away? He hasn't even had it for a month yet. I'm like, how can WWE do this? Fuck you! Wait a minute, whose music do I'm hearing right now? CM Punk's music comes out. I'm like, oh my god, thank you, CM Punk. I was like, oh my god, thank you, CM Punk. I was so fucking happy. I was like, I love you, CM Punk. CM Punk comes in, wheeling a chair. He fucking takes care of Bron Breakker with the fucking chair. And then he takes care of Seth Rollins with the chair. Now, the bell didn't ring, but the referee was waving his hand. So I don't know, maybe it was like no contest or something like that or whatever like that. But basically, Seth Rollins got his ass beat by the chair, so that Bron Breakker, they eventually ended up going up the ramp, and CM Punk, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn were in the ring together, and that's how it ended. It was a great show. So I'm like, obviously the feud between Rollins and Punk are still gonna go. Punk basically caused Rollins a title, just like Rollins caused Punk a title. So this is obviously gonna go on. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know if they're gonna bring another person in, and maybe they could have CM Punk and Sami Zayn versus Seth and Braun. Maybe. I don't know, but I'm glad Jey Uso got to keep his title. I was really worried there for a second because, you know, the unpredictability. But again, this match was so fucking good. I really enjoyed it, and I could totally see Seth and Jey Uso night 1 main eventing at SummerSlam, and that's when Seth Rollins will take the title off of Jey Uso. Totally can see it happen. I think it's gonna be a great match. Again, Jey fucking shines like a diamond with Seth Rollins. I don't know what it is, but yeah. Anyways, it was a good show. I really enjoyed it a lot. Also, let me just mention, by the way, my releases video. There was like 2 more releases. I think something, Javier something. I don't fucking know. And then Shotzi. Now Shotzi technically it's not released because she's going to like write out her contract, and her contract is like, I don't know when her contract ends, with more than obviously 90 days. So I'm not really sure. I mean, who knows? Maybe they changed their mind and maybe she'll come out there and do something to wow them or something like that. But I just wanted to throw that out there. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you in my next video. Okay, bye! So after the show, after I made this video, I found out there was an exclusive clip that I have to go ahead and put it in this video. So after the show, you had Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and CM Punk. They're all like just high-fiving the audience and everything like that. And then what happened was Jey Uso gets punched in the face by a person in a black hoodie. Turned out the person in the black hoodie was Logan Paul. So I don't know if there's going to be a match added to Backlash, because I don't know if Jay is fighting Logan Paul already at Backlash, because I mean he defended his title at on Raw, so it's kind of like, why would they have him defend the title again at Backlash? So I don't know if they are, but I could probably see this match being at Money in the Bank or something like that. I'm not sure what's going to happen, but I had to throw that in there and everything else. And then Jey Uso was knocked out, and then Sami was pretty much about to go after Logan Paul. Logan Paul pretty much left through the audience, and Punk pretty much helped Jey Uso up and everything else like that. I don't know what's going to happen. Also, I forgot to mention this, like, the one thing that I was afraid of, and I don't think it's going to happen, but I was actually kind of afraid that Logan Paul would be part of Rollins's, faction. I'm not sure. I'm like, oh god, please don't, but I don't think that he would fit in personally. I think Logan Paul should just be by himself. Anyways, I wanted to go ahead and throw that out there. Now I'm leaving. Okay, bye!